thought. Shut it. Top 5 drought-tolerant plants for beginners. Now, just because I added beginners on the end does not mean that these plants are easy to find, cheap supermarket plants that you can pick up any day of the week, because these are not. These are exceptionally good. They will survive not only drought conditions, but also our English cold, wet, freezing winters. So you've got a plant that can survive very extremes of climate and temperatures. Not only that, they are outstandingly good flowering, excellent architectural qualities. I really love them. In fact, I'm growing 3 of them here in the garden this very day. So let's get on with it. Which are my top 5 drought tolerant plant for beginners? And I'll tell you what, if you want something a little bit more challenging, I'm going to give you 2 more at the end, making 7. It's 2 literally for free, because I only said I was going to do 5. Now I'm doing 7. I mean, hooray! I thank you. The first plant I have for your consideration is the Dryopteris spectabile, which is a ridiculously complicated and awkward name to pronounce, so we're going to stick to its old genus name of Sedum. That's right, Sedum spectabile. If you've seen our videos previously, you may realise that I do like to have my plants a little bit fancy-pantsy. So when it comes to growing the Dryopteris, the Sedum, I'm not using a stupid new word, I've got 2 to show you. We've got this lovely grey-green foliage with a creamy margin on the outside. That I really quite like. I also have this gorgeous purpley red form, which doesn't have a cultivar name, simply because I found this growing as a seedling in my greenhouse. That is gorgeous. Look at that crinkly edge. To be fair, you're probably more familiar with this black leaf form. I know it's not properly black right now because it's been shaded out a bit. It is a south-facing wall, but I might have to cut back some of this foliage to bring this richness of colour out. Also, I think it needs pinching out, because that one was one I took as a cutting. Commonly known as the ice plant, you can purchase the Sedum spectabile with complete confidence, because this plant has been awarded the Royal Horticultural Society's Award of Garden Merit. Yes, I'm still holding the camera with the other hand. This means it is easy to find, it is extremely robust, it is well flowering, it is fairly good at being pest and disease resistant. It is an all-round excellent plant. Not only that, it is cold tolerant down to temperatures of minus 20 degrees Celsius. What the flip, that is amazing. So if you want one, you can grow one. Just plant it in a position that receives full sun all day, and just to be a little bit nice to it, because it is going to make a lot of effort, plant it in a well drained soil. You will need to water it a little bit while it's establishing. After that, you could pretty much forget about it until early spring, when the new buds start to show at the base of the plant. At that point, you can cut back all the old foliage so they're not in the way of the new foliage. And there you go, Sedum spectabile. Absolutely spot on, rock solid, amazing plant. Likes it baking, boiling hot, no water. Likes it absolutely freezing and wet conditions in the winter. It's got to be better than buying actual plastic plants, surely. Growing up to 2 meters tall and producing tall clusters of absolutely gorgeously rich purple blooms is the Verbena bonariensis, yet another plant with the Royal Horticultural Society's Award of Garden Merit. I'm not going to clap this time. Native to the tropical regions of South America, notably Argentina, this plant might surprise you that it can go down to minus 15 degrees Celsius, which is absolutely ridiculous for a plant that originates from a subtropical region. Nevertheless, it will grow in the UK extremely well, although I do appreciate there can be some naturalized issues with this plant in warmer countries, particularly those states found in the United States.
Oh, say, can you see?
That's the last time I'm going to do that bit. Plant in full sun, plant in a well-drained soil. This is going to be a common theme because we're talking about drought-tolerant plants. Typically, the Victorian gardeners would plant this plant at the back of the borders, and given a fair wind, it was actually reseed, giving you multiple plants that you can pot up and plant elsewhere. It's a great plant. I really like it. I'm not growing it here because it's a bit cottagey garden. I know it's a subtropical plant from the Americas, but it still has that cottagey garden feel, in my opinion, of which I am entitled to. Next on the list is a plant that you probably hadn't even considered, and that is the Japanese Shield Fern, also known as the autumn fern, botanical name Dryopteris, erythrosora. So this one is, straight off the bat, a little bit special. A fern that tolerates dry conditions.
No!
Well, that's unusual, isn't it? Yes, it flipping is, which is why it's on my list. The conditions for this plant are going to be slightly different to the previous ones. It's going to require semi-shade, certainly shaded from the hottest part of the day. It's going to require a regularly moist, well-drained soil until it's established, at which point it will tolerate periods of drought, which is why this is such an unusual plant. It also has ridiculous cold tolerance, one of the coldest tolerant ferns you can get. It can go down once more to minus 20 degrees Celsius. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, we've got one here. It is green, and you might see pictures of this, and it'll be these lovely golden autumnal hues. Well, don't be mistaken or misled, because that gold colour is from the new growth. So come the spring, you get that autumnal coloration, but no, it goes back to being green once it's settled down and those fronds have matured. What a wonderful thing. If you want dry shade, and there are very few decent plants that can tolerate dry shade, this is your best bet, in my opinion. At number 4, and accidentally discovered in a garden in Somerset in 1989, is arguably the very best hardy hybrid geranium, and that is Geranium Roseanne. It has these wonderful lilac blue, quite large blooms that flower pretty much from the end of the spring to the beginning of the autumn, a really long time. Doesn't get too big, grows no more than a metre tall by a metre wide, and due to its hybridness, it has hybrid vigour expressed in cold hardness. Once again, this plant can go down to minus 20 degrees Celsius. That's incredible. So of course, as you'd expect, this plant also has the Royal Horticultural Society's Award of Garden Merit. And probably the only hardy herbaceous geranium that would ever grow in my garden, which I'm not, because again, it's a bit English country garden and I don't have one of those here. Plant it in either full sun to semi-shade, which is unusual for a hardy geranium. It would do best in a regularly moist yet free draining soil. Although once established, this Sedum has a very deep extending root system. So once again, excellent for drought tolerance once this plant has established. Plant number 5, and these really aren't in any order. In fact, I would say this last plant is probably my favourite one on the list, and it's a particular species of red hot poker. This one in particular. But before I start talking about that one, don't forget after this, I've still got 2 more plants for your consideration if you want something a little bit more challenging. And I'll be honest with you, I have both these plants in the garden. They've been growing outside for the past few years, no problem at all. And let's be honest with you, this particular garden is prone to waterlogging over the winter period. And if all these plants can survive that, that's an absolute testament about how tough they are. Anyway, this particular Nyphophia is Nyphophia coalescens, commonly known as the coalescent red hot poker. This is a native to the altitudes of Lesotho in South Africa, and this is one of the few plants that does not have the Award of Garden Merit from the Royal Horticultural Society. And I'm not really quite sure, because growing it here, it is extremely robust, only really has problems with slugs, and even the RHS themselves say that slugs are no longer considered to be a garden pest, so you can't hold that against it. It is cold tolerant down to an impressive minus 15 degrees Celsius, and probably the most capable of all the red hot pokers you're likely to grow in surviving our cold, wet winters. What's not to like? Plant it in full sun, plant it in a free draining soil. Unlike pretty much all the plants that we've mentioned so far, this is the only one that requires a soil that is somewhere between neutral and slightly acidic. Although to be fair, I didn't bother with that planting these here, just stuck them in the ground and they grow absolutely fine. It really is my most favourite plant. It's got absolutely stunning blooms and long lasting. This just started flowering about 3 weeks ago. I've probably still got another couple of weeks of colour to go, and it's attracting blue tits who are actually feeding from the nectar off the blooms. So you can imagine that this is probably the nearest flowering plant that's going to look like the tropical ginger, torch gingers. I mean, this is called the torch lily, but the torch gingers, which are absolutely stunning, one of my favourite plants of all, which also attract hummingbirds. So if you squint and look at these and have the birds feeding from the nectar, you really could put yourself back into the tropics, somewhere I absolutely love. And there you go. That's my 5 drought-tolerant plants that will survive our winters here for beginners. If you want something a bit more challenging, I'm going to show you these 2. Well, can't really show you in flower, but I've still got them in the garden, and they've been here 3 years. And last year we had temperatures that went down to minus 8 degrees Celsius, and I didn't mulch them. And the reason why they've survived is because they've established fully. The root system is well protected under the ground, so even with a really cold snap, there's enough of a substantial root to regrow from, because they are herbaceous after all, and they're full of growth. Just see what they look like today. If you haven't guessed it, I'm talking about Salvias. We've got this one here. I mean, look how lush that growth is coming off it. This is the species Geranium, and over here to my left is another Salvia. This is the other one I'll talk to you about. This one is involucrata, but they are cultivars of. This one, you're probably very familiar with Amistad. I don't particularly like that one, but I do like this one. This one is black and blue. Again, one of my favourite plants. Really stunning. This will be in flower, and it'll be a mass of flowers. I do find the colour form really quite striking. So this one I really recommend, but it's got to be established first in order to cope with our cold, wet winters. And if you want to top dress it with a dry mulch, be my guest. That will help it, certainly in the first year. Subsequent years, I think you're going to be fine. And this one, this is Habsten, which is that stunning, massive pink bloom with that huge bud on it, which is what the involute. Oh look, is that? No, it's not. I thought that might be a bud starting to show. But again, absolutely striking flower. I really love both of these. So both of these have been in the ground 3 years now. First year, I had them protected with a dry mulch. After that, I haven't bothered. And yet, they are still coming through. In fact, wherever I planted these in the garden, they're still come through. But these are the best looking ones. So there you go. 5 absolutely stunning drought tolerant plant, suitable for beginners because you really don't need to do much with them. Once they've established, they'll cope by themselves and also cope at the other extreme of our cold, wet, horrible winters. Absolutely brilliant. And there you go, 2 more extra ones for those who want a bit more of a challenge, which basically is you remembering to plant them at the beginning of the season, so they've got the whole year to establish a root ball, and then putting down a dry mulch. It's not much of a challenge, but people, they just seem to struggle with it. But now it's your turn. Depending where you are in the world, then there are going to be other plants that you would prefer to grow for their drought tolerance. And what I'd like you to do is put those in the comments. Also put in whereabouts in the world you are, because that is really great information for the other viewers who read the comments. Anyway, thanks for watching, but before you go, consider watching this video here. I quite enjoyed making it, and hopefully you'll enjoy watching it. Goodbye.